Well, hey, and welcome to the Business Coach TV show. Today I got Roger Pemberton all the way from the UK here with me. This is where I get to interview the best business coaches in the world and get to learn from them about how to grow your business and mine, of course. Hey, Roger, welcome.
Thank you very much, Brad, and great to be here to talk to you about this sort of content.
You know, in growing a business, one of the things that you love teaching is about marketing and building marketing plans. And of course, you guys all love planning. It's such an exciting subject, isn't it? See, Roger, we can make planning exciting, right?
Planning's really exciting.
You heard it first right here. Planning is exciting. Now, so a marketing plan, what happens? Why most business owners don't have one? Why not?
I think the reason they don't is because to have a marketing plan and make it of use, the first thing is they need to understand where is their business plan and where actually have they got the gaps. So just by identifying the gap should be the target for that marketing plan. Without understanding the gap, they won't go and put a plan in place.
So here I am in my average business. I don't have a marketing plan. Where do I start then? What do I do first? When you talk about these gaps, you're talking about from where they are now to where they want to be, because I know most business owners don't even have goals set for their marketing. So where should I start?
In my experience, there's been 2 or 3 starting points. One has been, they've said, I'm here now, I want to grow my business by a percentage from where I was.
Right.
Or it may be, actually, I've got a great aspiration of where I need to get to, and they're actually saying, this is where I'm heading to. So it can either be a towards goal, or it could be an incremental volume growth goal.
Great. So, all right. So we got to set our plan, set our goal based on a percentage on today, or pick a big number like a big, hairy, audacious goal, as they say, and go for that. Okay. So marketing is the difference between where I am now and where I want to be.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So I start by setting the goal. What do I do next?
The next thing is to look at that gap and say, if I don't put any marketing in place, what is the gap between where I'm going to be and where I'm heading by natural cause? Because some businesses will know that over a period of time they will lose some custom and they've actually got a declining.
And some
base,
businesses
and
are the
some have got
opposite,
some
where they know
growth.
naturally they'll grow just because they're there.
So rather than saying what's the gap, understand what part of that gap could be filled by the stuff they're already doing.
Okay, so it's a gap between where I am and where I want to be. I got to look at how much growth am I going to have anyway, or how much attrition am I going to have anyway.
Correct.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm going to be devil's advocate here just for a second, right? Average business owner. I don't have the time to do all that, Roger.
Well, I guess if what I would say to that is that there's a great saying that we use: if you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So it's great to have that planning opportunity purely to.
You're actually going to make me write a plan, aren't you? This is what
I'm
you're
afraid
gonna do.
so. Unless you want to fail, of course.
See, I love writing books and stuff, running a plan. Okay, I do love planning. And the reason I love planning is it gives my team the ability to go forward. See, when my business was real small, I didn't need to do a lot of planning. I had a great business. It was all in my head. I knew what to do. Once I added a bunch of employees, all of a sudden now it's like, hey, if we don't have a plan, no one knows what they're doing. All right, so back to marketing just for a second. All right, so marketing is going to get me from where I am now to where I want to be. What are some of the next steps then? Once I've worked out this is the attrition, this is the natural growth, what have I got to do now?
There's two main areas that need some focus. The first one is actually who am I looking to sell to? So in general terms, to grow that business, you're either going to sell more stuff to people that you're already selling to, or more stuff to people who are like them, or you're going to have new products or services that may go either to your existing customers or to a totally new market. So identifying a combination between what am I looking to sell and who's going to want to buy that.
Okay, so let's say, for example, I work out that my existing customers need more. Because I've always said that if I can break business down, it's either is it going to get me customers or keep me customers. That's sort of the two most important jobs in life. So the marketing plan's got to address both of those, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if I'm looking at adding new products, okay, let's not overcomplicate this for a second. Let's just stay with, if I got to get more customers like mine, how do I find out who, do I do surveys of my existing customers? What's the steps?
Well, a great place to start is actually look at your existing customers. Look at who's buying what and look at which sort of customers you want more of. In ActionCOACH, we talk about your A's and your B's, your C's and your D customers. The A's and the B's are who you want to go after. They're the ones who you know are good regular customers. You've got a good emotional contact with you, so they'll pay good money, and also they rate you, so they're likely to stay loyal.
So we need
identify
more
those, you
A-grade
want more
customers.
A-grade customers.
The old 80-20 rule, Pareto principle, find out who are the 20% that give you 80% of your business, obviously applies. So we determine who they are. Now we got to design marketing to go after more of them, right? Okay, well, what about the flip side of that? What about looking at the external marketplace?
Well, one of the important things to look at is what competitor analysis is out there. Your competitors are great to look at because in two ways. Many competitors aren't doing a great job of what they do to their customers. So you can think about, how do I differentiate against them? What benefits can I offer to them, to their customers, that would make them more likely to buy?
I had an experience the other day like this. I was chatting with a guy about buying something, and I knew more about their competitors than the sales guy did. I knew more about the competitor products than the sales guy. So he couldn't sell me because, hey, I know more than you. You can't sell me when I know more than you. And there's a rule for all you guys out there. Make sure your salespeople know more about your competitors than your customers do. If they don't know their competitors, how can you do it? So, okay, back to marketing. We do a SWOT analysis of our competitors: strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats. We know what our competitors are good at, what they're not good at. We find, okay, so now we're looking at that external marketplace and saying, okay, where is the gaps in that, not just the gaps inside our business?
And also the gap should be in terms of looking at it from the customer's perspective. So it needs to be there's you hear about USPs, the unique sales proposition. Actually, the phrase I like to use is UPBs, the unique perceived benefits. So you look at it from the customer's eyes. So you're saying, actually, we can see their customers, find the gap between what the competition are offering and what you can offer from the eyes of the customer. That's what's going to make them want to change.
How do you get into the eyes of a customer? Because I always struggle with that when you got to sit there and you go, say, okay, I got to think like my customer. Is there some strategies for that? Some ways to do it?
I think what I would say is think about what are they going to do with what you're offering. If you've got a product or a service, the classic example they give is people don't buy drills because they want to drill. Yeah. They buy a drill because they want a hole. They want to put a hole in the wall. So actually understand what are people going to do with the product or service they buy from you, and then think from their perspective, is it going to be something that's going to make them more money? Is it something that's going to save them time? Is it something that's going to make them more successful? You're looking at it, say, what are they going to get? I've heard it described as the afters. If they come to work with you, what are the benefits in the future they're going to get from coming to you rather than staying with your competitor? Yeah.
So to convince them to come to me, I got to think from their perspective. I get that. That's the whole thing. All right. So marketing is both communication and education to a potential customer and an existing customer. We hear a lot about CRMs and databases and that sort of stuff. Where are you at on the scale of that? Are you fully automated database? Are you more? Which way do you go?
I think it does depend on the size of the business and the resources available. Assuming there is some level of resource available to manage this, what is you often find is people won't buy on the first contact. So you need to be thinking about, how am I going to manage my suite of communication over a period of time? So you want the database to be able to tell you at the very least who are the customers, when do I next need to speak to them, and what do I need to say to them next? And also, what did I say to them last time? So that you keep that thread of communication going, so that to give you a level of consistency. So they've said to you, come and talk to me again. So it's not a cold call, it's a calling back as invited to continue a conversation, and you know where you need to go with it next.
Yeah, I'm a very firm believer in automated databases. I really am. I mean, if a CRM isn't automated, you may as well not have the database, because you're not going to do stuff. You'll get too busy with other things and having it that. But also I'm a firm believer in that database should pop up a phone call rather than just always be sending like an email or a mail piece or that sort of stuff. The phone call is also very important. All right, so here's our last chance to convince people they need a marketing plan. What do we convince everybody watching why you need a marketing plan?
The reason you need a marketing plan is to be able to say, who is it I'm looking to go after? What is it I'm looking to talk to them about? And then you can map out the number of contacts you're going to make to those customers, why you're speaking to them, and what you're going to talk to them about. So it becomes a mix of targets and strategies to enable you to have a mix of communication. As you say, put it into the CRM and set some accountabilities, either for yourself or whoever's managing this, to be able to look at, do some test and measure around what is my return on investment, what is my cost for acquiring customers, or what is the value I'm getting from it, so I can clearly say this has been a valuable exercise.
Dang, dude, you just went into like 4 million other strategies right there. So if you want to chat to Roger, chat to Roger. I'll tell you why I think you need a marketing plan. If you're going to spend money on marketing, you better plan it, or you'll just waste your money. You know, I think that's the simplest point. Roger Pemberton, great coach, UK. Follow him up, have a chat with him. This is the Business Coach TV show. Tune in again next time.